Hello, everyone. Welcome to my very first Instagram Live. I feel like this is a really big moment. I have been wanting to create something and start sharing here more. I love video, and I used to go Facebook Live all the time, and I was always live over there. I was always creating video content over there. And since pulling back from Facebook earlier in August, which if you don't know that story, I'm happy to share it maybe in another video of why I decided to pull back from Facebook and go all in on Instagram and my podcast. And for some reason, I've been really resistant to bringing video into Instagram, but I know how important it is and how much it means to me and how much I long for connection with you all here. And for those of you who maybe aren't ready to listen to the podcast yet, but want to be able to be face-to-face with me and aren't ready to dive into the work fully yet one-on-one or in one of my programs, I wanted to be able to create content for you here. So thank you for being here today. Thank you for allowing me to share not only in my written content on my podcast and audio, but now visually here as well. And if you want more videos like this, send me messages and let me know what you want me to talk about. And I'm happy to start to riff on and channel through different things that not only is my soul feeling me calling me to share, but also what you all want to hear about is really important to me, that this is an open dialogue. So leave comments below. Let's have a conversation. Let's have a dialogue. And if you want to ask something that maybe you're not ready to fully post below because it can be public, feel free to send me a message and we can talk about it here on the podcast or somewhere in future content. So what I wanted to share with you today is a little bit more of a riff on what I talked about in my Instagram stories yesterday around the idea of body image and how that is affecting us of showing up fully in our sex life. And the reason that and today I just want to talk a brief minute about why this is so important to me and why I'm feeling so fucking drawn to this conversation is because I don't see it being had. I see two different things. I see the sexual revolution of sorts in women's sexuality, right? And being able to fully be expressed in that way over here. And then I see another conversation over here around body positivity, body liberation, really loving ourselves, accepting ourselves, whether we're in a thinner body or a bigger body or somewhere in between, whether this sags or this is this cellulite or whatever it might be. And so we've got body acceptance over here. We've got sexuality liberation over here. And there's this missing connection in between, which is where I'm feeling like my soul is calling me to step in. And I started talking a little bit about this in the beginning of the year through my program Embodied. And then I pulled back on it, and I've been in this like next layer uncovering in my own personal life and my own personal relationship with my body, especially over the last year or so. And I'm feeling called to open up the conversation deeper. So if you missed these Instagram stories, this is me riffing on that for a second here. And there will be so much more content to come on this. But what I'm noticing is there's a missing link here where we've got the body acceptance, body liberation, body positivity, sexual revolution, sexual liberation. Who's going to bridge the gap? And I believe that I do. And I believe not only do I, but I need you all. And I need open dialogue of other, I say women, but I mean any human. I don't care who you identify as or what you identify as or what resonates with you. I welcome all people at my table who have a strong belief in their body of, I'm feeling blocked in the bedroom from showing up as the sexuality queen, as the sex goddess energy of the sexy seductress and the sacred slut. I'm feeling like I can't show up in that way because I'm in my head about my body. Again, whether it's because you're in a bigger body than normal, that's where I'm at right now, the cellulite, or maybe you're in a thinner body. I've gotten a lot of messages from some of you who are like, I'm in a really thin body and I don't feel as feminine because I'm not as curvy. And we've got a lot of stories and a lot of beliefs and a lot of things going on in the head that are blocking us from fully being connected into the capacity of pleasure that we were created for. And I want to open up that conversation. So what I would love for you to do is, if you're open to it, either in the comments below or send me a DM and just let me know. I can't coach you in my DMs. It's unethical. So I can't go in on it with you. However, I can see you. I will listen and I will witness you in that. And I will bring that into what I'm channeling through for the content that I'm creating around it. Of course, it will remain confidential and private and between you and I would never blast your name. I would never put that anywhere. But I do feel like I need to hear from more for more humans who are feeling this disconnect between, I maybe hate my body right now, or I don't feel like my body is my own, or I'm suffering with an invisible illness and I'm feeling like disconnected, and I just want to come home to my own body, to my own self, and to my sexuality, to my feminine energy, but I'm all up here and it's keeping me from here. And I truly believe the reason I'm so passionate about this is because we cannot have true sexual satisfaction without body satisfaction. They go hand in hand, because if you're all in your head thinking about your body, it's blocking you from being able to fully surrender and receive in pleasure and be able to fully experience to the greatest capacity that you're capable of if you are too in your head about your body, right? Being sexual means being seen. And if you can't even see yourself, how do you expect your partner to see you? And so this is where we have to start healing this relationship. And you know, if you have struggled with eating disorders, or you have, you know, a past of sexual trauma, or we have different pieces there, those are going to play into this. And so please seek support for those things from specific, you know, from a trauma therapist, from an eating disorder specialist, someone who has knowledge there. Don't just go to anyone on Instagram. But we have to start identifying, what is it that's keeping me from the truest sexual satisfaction that I know is available? Maybe I haven't experienced it before, and maybe I have, and there's something blocking me. Like, where did things turn off? And let's start there. Or maybe you're someone who's like, I've read about it in the romance novels, or I've heard my friends talk about it, or I've heard Olivia talk about it on the podcast, but I'm not able to fully get myself there. This is where I want to go in with you. This is where we begin this conversation of, how can we not, it's not going into like, oh, I hate my body. Oh, I love my body. Oh my God. You know, like that's going to take time. It's going, instead of hate and disgust and shame every day around our body, the first step is awareness, and then giving ourselves compassion and grace and acceptance and kindness of, I don't really like my stomach right now, or this cellulite is not my favorite thing. I don't have to love it today. I just have to acknowledge that this is where I'm at, and it doesn't diminish my worth or my value as a human being. It doesn't make me any less accessible to sexuality or full orgasmic pleasure and bliss. I am worthy of it all in this body that I'm in right now. I don't care if you're trying to lose weight. I don't care what's going on there. That's not where my zone of brilliance is coming in. That's not where this conversation is specifically around. That's your own prerogative. But I want you to really be able to anchor into, in this body, in this human vessel that I'm in now, this physical meat suit, as I've sometimes called it, is just the house for my soul and my purpose. It gets me around from A to Z, and it plays a part. It's important. And it's time that I start acknowledging her. And I say her if you identify as a woman. Just typically, most of the clients that I work with identify as women. I identify as a woman, as a she. That is my pronoun. And for me, it was more about reconnecting with and building a relationship with my body as a her versus an it. Instead of being disgusted and in shame and in fear and in hatred towards her and judgment towards her, every day it's like, how can I show her a little bit more kindness today? How can I connect with her today? And what does she need today? And just starting there. And knowing that she's just as capable of and worthy of and able to tap into like the hottest sex possible and the deepest intimacy and the fieriest passion. But first we have to show that to ourselves and be with that in ourselves, and then bring it into the bedroom. And that's the conversation. So I would love to know, how do you feel about your body in this season? Maybe it's gone through some changes. Maybe it's post-baby. Maybe you're healing from an eating disorder. Maybe for me, I got out of the health and fitness industry, and I'm finding my body in this season and really learning to appreciate her. And knowing that she's a little bit bigger than I'm used to right now. I'm personally suffering with some invisible illnesses, as I know many of you are. And it's things that I'm healing and I'm working on, but it just means my body looks a little bit different right now. And how can I be so kind and compassionate to her as I'm healing her, knowing that my body is always changing. Your body is always changing forever and ever. So how can you anchor into and be with her now as we're sitting in the season of changes and ebbs and flows and fluctuations that she's going to endure? What if we choose to show up with her, and instead of when we feel the hate or we feel the shame, we just shift into, you are worthy, you are loved, you are valued, you are enough, and you are just as freaking worthy of the hottest sex possible. And then start to heal that relationship with her, and then be able to express yourself fully and be seen fully and be fully in the moment in the bedroom and be able to access whatever kind of wild, hot, passionate, fiery energy that you want to. That's the conversation that we're starting. And I don't know where this is going to go yet, but I just know the dialogue needs to be had, because too many of you are telling me that you feel the exact same way. And I want you to know that I see you and I hear you, and I'm holding space for you as we're navigating this conversation. So we're starting there. I'm going to break it off. Comment below or shoot me a DM and let me know where you're at, and let me know more about you so I can know what else you want to hear me share and channel through around this topic: body image and sex, and how you can't have true sexual satisfaction without body satisfaction. So how do we create body satisfaction so that we can have true sexual satisfaction? Deal? Okay. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon.